Y to 231-231.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What's going on? Today is Wednesday. It is June 22nd. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man, and we jump right back onto the radio airwaves of 1090, onto the stream of YouTube. Tonight, you'll catch up to us on television because the Padres are playing a day game, so you'll have nothing to watch tonight, so you'll turn on the show, hopefully. And whenever you want us on all the different audio podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, all the way down to iHeart. You know everything in between. Grande, Brown Man. Last night, after the Padres won the game in extra innings, and by the way, Browner, we're keeping tabs on all the numbers that we predicted. Record without Manny Machado, how Eric Hosmer is going to step up. We're keeping record, and we're keeping track on all of it. But after the game was over, what happened in the post-game interview was so great that it sparked people all over social media to, I want to say, immediately jump into action, ourselves included. Alex, would you buy that? Were you there? Were you watching this late last night?
I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it on social.
You get me till 10:30. That's my max.
Yeah.
That's my max, to be honest with you. I can't anymore. Not during the week, at least. Even the weekend, bro. It's hard.
Wow.
Old man now.
Man, you don't even have any kids yet, and you're an old man. You're not even technically married yet, and you're already an old man.
I blame the schedule. But anyways, yes, I was watching in the extras, and I fell asleep. I was watching on my phone, and I put the phone down. And I did put it down on the bottom of the 11th, too. I just couldn't make it.
Really?
I was done. Tapped out.
Brown man,
I was like, don't you guys find it exciting? When you wake up, you're like, did they win?
Actually, it's funny you say that because the game was 2-2 last night, and I also didn't make it till the end. And when I wake up in the morning and I open my phone, I go right to the scoreboard on ESPN, and I check the Padres score, the Dodgers score, and the Giants score to see who won and who might have lost and what the standings might say. And everybody won last night. Brown, were you watching until the end? Let me see where his.
I never make it to the end.
No,
I never make it to the end. At some point,
stays up till 2.
Right. At some point, I look and I go, either they're gonna win this game, or if they're down, I'm like, hopefully they'll pull it out. I stick around until I'm no longer entertained, and that happens. It depends. It's whether I stick around is highly dependent on pitching.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't sound like a real fan right there.
I know if it's a 2-2 game, is that not?
That's good for me. Yeah, it's good for me, but I also got other things to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got other responsibilities, man.
I'm feeling you. I'm feeling
at
that.
11 at night.
Sometimes, yeah, it depends. You feel what I'm saying? Sometimes.
Don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, my bad.
Hey, speaking of taking care of business later in the evening hours,
you know what I'm saying? A little midnight call.
I'm going to have you guys know, because we talked about this yesterday on the show, that the gift that I purchased from Gwyneth Paltrow's website, Goop, okay, it arrived at about 5 p.m. yesterday. Yeah, I was tracking it and had to run home because I was over at Rachel's because we had gone, I'd spent the day with her yesterday for her birthday. And we had a wonderful day. It was not that anybody cares, but I ran home to get it. She had no idea what it was. She said, "Do I have it?" I said, "No." She said, "Do I want it?" I said, "Yeah." She opened it up. She thought it was awesome. We charged it. We went and had a little bite to freaking eat over here. And then we came back and we tried it out and we experimented with it. And it was awesome. But I'm not going to say what it is.
Yeah,
I think you kind of already did.
Boring story of all time.
Yeah,
I think you kind of already did.
The story's boring now?
Yeah.
Well, I was just proud of myself for being able to track the package and then find out that it was delivered and then actually go grab it. And, being the non-romantic guy that I am, I brought it in the Amazon box or whatever box it was shipped in. No card, like a freaking idiot. No wrapping, no card.
Why would you wrap anything? Who cares about the wrapping?
Well, it turns out when you open the box that it was shipped in, it was all wrapped up inside. Like it was the packaging was beautiful.
I hate it when somebody wraps a gift. Don't wrap none of my gifts, man. Never.
What?
Don't ever wrap none of my gifts. None of them. You wasting your time. I want what's in the package. I don't want the wrapping. at all. Don't wrap none of my gifts. None of them. None of them.
Alex, you seem to be more of a prefer wrapping kind of guy.
I've never heard anyone say don't wrap my gifts.
Don't wrap none of my gifts at all. Zero. No, nada. At all. I'm also
I'm not a I don't wrap gifts. Like I'm a gift bag user.
Oh, gift bags are that's a good idea. That's a because you know the gift bags are reusable. So if you give me a gift in a bag,
Reusable.
I'll put the bag away and then I'll use it for somebody else's gift.
Yeah, and it's super simple. You buy a package of tissue paper or whatever it's called, a gift bag, and everyone looks like a professional rapper at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I don't waste my time with wrapping and tape and all that crap. Nope. No thanks.
one year for Christmas, I was a kid, obviously. And my mother wrapped all these presents, right? But I wanted to know what the presents were. So I ripped the paper on each present and then turned it on the other side to not like make it not show it was open. Well, she found out. I got a good beating because of that. And ever since then, I'm like, don't wrap my presents.
All right, well,
it's
scarred
a
for
story
life.
behind it. Yeah.
Right.
Don't wrap nothing.
Right. Hey, listen, you're lucky she just beat you down.
I mean, it was a Nintendo, so
Worth the
Worth it.
Worth the beatdown.
Worth it.
And two, we got it from a questionable circumstance, so there wasn't no receipt.
Yeah.
Ain't no taking it back.
I've told you about my story about my questionable circumstances when it came to Atari games, right? Remember Atari, the original
Oh
Atari?
yeah, you did. Yeah.
Atari 2600, right? My father, and I've told you guys that my father's like the cheapest guy on the planet, right? And
He disputes that.
in fairness, I'm coming to learn as I'm getting older, there's a difference between being cheap and being resourceful, you know, because I feel like I'm cheap like my father, but I also don't like the title of being cheap. So I prefer resourceful. But when I was a kid, I wanted an Atari 2600. And my father was not going to buy me an Atari 2600. But my cousin, he had one. And so if he had one, I had to have one. And so my father knew I was getting one, but he just didn't want to buy it. So my father had a friend who had an Atari 2600. It broke. So the guy went to an electronics store and he bought himself a new Atari 2600. You know, he had all the cartridges and everything. He wasn't going to not play the game. He just needed a new one, new console. So when the guy took the brand new Atari 2600 home and he unpacked it and he set it all up, he was left with the box from the Atari 2600. My father took the guy's broken Atari. He put it in the guy's brand new Atari box. The guy had the Atari. He's playing it on his TV. My father took the old one in the new box, took it back to the electronics store, told him that he had just bought it, told him it didn't work, got a brand new one.
See, that's resourceful.
Yeah, that is resourceful. That's called thinking, game planning, and then execution. It's not cheap.
Is it also called stealing? I mean, I don't know if it is or it isn't.
No.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. You took a broken used Atari and got a brand new one under false, pretenses.
Yeah, it works.
Is that the word?
Pretext.
So that's technically.
Yeah. So he did. It's not like he walked in there and he took the Atari 2600 off the shelf and he walked out with it. And
that's stealing.
That's
that is
shoplifting.
stealing.
That's shoplifting.
Yeah, that's stealing.
Okay. But this is
right. That's
right. But this is more of a white collar crime. This is more of like a thinking man's crime.
This is like catch me if you can kind of thing.
Because
Leo
right,
DiCaprio.
because if the guy who bought the new one, if it didn't work and he returned it, that's legit. All my father did was take the broken one, put it in the brand new box. When they scanned it or whatever, I don't even know if they scanned things back in the 80s, but when they looked at it, they were like, okay, this guy just bought this here. He probably even showed up with the receipt, my father.
What store?
I mean, I don't
Woolworth.
know. No. It was an electronics
Sears.
store, but I don't.
Bro, I loved
Woolworth is great.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was like not like a Fry's or Best Buy, but it was like one of those places.
My point to the question was it wasn't a mom and pop shop.
No.
Where it was gonna hurt them.
Big box department store.
Got it. Yeah, who cares?
No, it wasn't going to hurt anybody. All they were going to do was send it back as a.
Did you care when you started playing your new Atari?
Oh, dude, when I was playing Missile Command, or I was
Never
playing
even thought about
Frogger.
it.
Yeah, I was not like my dad stole this. I was like, my dad's smart. I don't care how he got it. He got it.
Dummies paid for it. My dad got this for free.
Yeah. So, anyway, I don't really know how we got onto this subject. Does anybody else?
Christmas presents.
Oh, rapping.
Time last night. You, Rachel.
Yeah. Baseball game. Not making it till the end, rapping. So here's what happens. So the game ends. This is why I brought this up. So the game ends last night. And when the post-game interview happens, Alfaro, who comes up with another just monster clutch walk-off winning hit, I don't know if he just kind of thought like it was cute and funny to say the F word in a post-game interview. I thought it was great. I loved it. And it's cable television, so I don't know that they have to like dump out of it or that they're on a
And it's
7-second
late.
delay.
It's 10:30 at
Yeah,
night.
it's 10:30 at night. And again, I feel like English not being Jorge Alfaro's primary language, I almost feel like he hears it and goes, "Oh, that's what they say in America. LFG. Let's effing go." Like, is that a problem? I didn't know that was a problem. You know?
Right.
So let's play the post game. Well, let's do this. The Padres have an afternoon game. We're going to go in a totally different direction this afternoon. But as far as what happened last night, Alfaro comes up clutch with another big hit to walk it off, and then goes to this post game interview with Bob Scanlon. Do you want to play the interview, Alex?
And I can't describe the feeling right now. And let's go San Diego.
All right, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Great job tonight. Go celebrate.
Let's effing go San Diego. That's what he said. I hope you could hear it. You want to play one more time just because it's a little hollow and people could hear it on the radio. People are seeing it on YouTube, whatever.
And I can't describe the feeling right now. And let's go San Diego.
All right, thanks so much.
Yeah, let's effing go San Diego. And then there's Bob Scanlon. Bob Scanlon's not like, hey, ho, hey, you're cursing on TV. Bob Scanlon's like, if you want to curse on TV, that's fine by me. I don't care. It's cool. Didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
So when I woke up this morning, I saw a tweet from somebody that said, okay, Kaplan and crew, where are the let's effing go San Diego t-shirts? Hold on a second. Time out. Browner.
What?
What's up with the roll of toilet paper you just moved from one side of the room to the other side of the room?
I ain't moving no toilet paper. What you talking about?
I saw a roll of toilet paper.
There was no toilet paper, man.
Alex, did you just see that?
There was no toilet paper, man.
He
What
took
you
a
doing?
roll of
Looking at
toilet
the
paper
screen.
with his right hand, transferred over to his left hand, and
Did
then moved
not.
over to it so it's out of the sight of the camera.
False.
All right, grab what you just grabbed then.
False.
Grab what you just grabbed. You know it was a roll of toilet paper, dog. Ain't no shame in that. Ain't no shame in having a little TP
man,
around.
that's the toilet paper, man. Why you gotta call me out?
Why you got a roll of toilet paper on your desk?
I told you I'm dying, man. I'm on some medication today. Every time I take this pill, I feel like I got the flu. I'm dying, man.
Have you taken
You're
a
still
COVID test?
taking
3.
medication over this the wisdom teeth
I
thing?
have an infection in my face, man. I can listen. This is very painful to talk. Like I shouldn't be sitting here, but I am. I am in a lot of pain, but I'm doing the show because it's my responsibility as an adult and a professional to conduct myself as such. So that's what I do on a daily basis. I got a reputation to uphold in these streets.
I feel you. I do. Hey, you're playing hurt, man.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after the way Alex called you out last week for leaving the show midway through.
Listen, man. Can't nobody call me. I was sick, bro. I was sick. I got poisoned. I had milk poisoning.
And that's what led to the wisdom teeth extraction.
No. That was years of dedication to candy and soda and other things I shouldn't be
And a
eating.
lack of dental hygiene.
Yeah. Well, I guess yes. Yeah. Because brushing my teeth ain't enough. Apparently, that's what they said. You gotta do you gotta go the extra mile.
Right. So anyway, all right. So here's what happened. So I wake up early this morning, and I hit Twitter, and I'm seeing everybody is posting that soundbite we just played for you, where Jorge Alfaro is like, "Let's effing go San Diego," and my timeline is immediately with people saying, "Where's the T-shirt, dude?" And then Alex jumped in and said, "It's coming," like today. So, Alex, can you show everybody? I love this, by the way. This is so much fun to me. When a phrase happens, pay that man. We turn it into a T-shirt. You guys buy it up. We all rock it. It's great for the show. I'm with Dean with the X on the N, so it's I'm with DEA, his sister's name, because we want Dean Spanos' sister to continue to humiliate him and the family and push them into selling the team. Although right now the NFL might have bigger problems on their hands with Daniel Snyder. But once they push Daniel Snyder out of ownership, just the same way they pushed Jerry Richardson out of ownership for the Carolina Panthers, once they push Daniel Snyder out of ownership, here's what could happen. Talk about dominoes falling. Daniel Snyder winds up getting pushed out by the NFL, just hypothetically, sells the Washington football team, the Washington football team, the whatever they're called, Commanders, sells them for 5.5 billion, 6 billion, right? Because if Denver sold for 4.6, let's say Washington sells for 6, right?
In DC, property tax is higher. It's more expensive to live there. Definitely, this is gonna hit the 6.
Okay, so let's just say hypothetically, the NFL owners push Daniel Snyder out because he is just humiliating the NFL right now.
Every day.
We'll get into it later. Sell Washington for $6 billion. Then what are the Chargers worth? I mean, just because they're the next team up. So could they be 6.5? Could they be 7?
7?
All I'm saying to you is that what's going on in Washington could impact the Charger ownership. So these phrases, pay that man, I'm with Dean, with the N nixed out so that we could see his sister's name. Or last night, let's effing go San Diego. So Alex, what happened earlier today with the let's effing go San Diego t-shirts? Because I know we're not the only people in town that thought about like we should put that on a t-shirt.
Of course. Right. I made one and I put it up.
You are not only a model,
because
you are a
of
designer as well. You're like a model and a designer.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know how good I am, but
do you feel any pressure when you unveil a new shirt?
Nah, because I know that I'm like I'm more of a my level of skill is more MS Paint, not Photoshop. So
Gotcha.
it is what it is. Like I'm flattered that one person has bought a shirt that I've made. None like, and we've sold like a ton. So the first one we wanted it went through, but then now it's in review. Do you want to see that one first?
Here's the first t-shirt that Alex made. Let's effing go San Diego. And I love how the L and the F and the G are all bigger than the other letters in the font. And then, yeah, that looks really good. I love that. F-U.
Yeah, same.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that like 10 times before I published it.
I'd have just published
so that
3 letters.
So that one's in review. That one, hopefully, by the time people are watching this, will be on sale. But we'll see. So the one that did get approved, which was Scott's idea.
Well, I just was looking for an alternative because I thought that they were taking us down because I thought they were taking us down
of the language.
Because, I don't know if it was language or if the Padres jumped on it or somehow. I don't know.
See, so when you don't control your own, when you're a third party user, you can't really. People have rules.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we put up today. This is what you can get today.
The LFG San Diego.
Right now.
Yeah. So look, if you have kids and you're like, I don't want the effing on my t-shirt, so be it. LFG's plenty. What are you saying, bro?
Kids can't read that. And if they can, they use the word. I'm so tired of people saying that. Oh, my kids, man. You listen, if your kids can't read it, they can't say it. If they can read it, they say it. Get out of here.
I don't have a problem. Listen, my kids,
they invented the word.
I tell you, man, I live in a locker room here with my kids. So I'm not shy about it, and I'm not bashful about it, and I don't care. So they can say whatever they want. But I guess what I'm saying is that the Let's Effing Go San Diego t-shirts are under review. I don't know if it's the Padre colors. I don't know if it's the way Alex titled it. He titled it like, I don't know, what'd you call it, Alex? Like Padres something?
No, I didn't title it. No, I didn't.
Well, I thought that's why they were reviewing it, is because you used the word Padres in it, maybe.
No, I put under tags, but I didn't title
tags,
it
whatever.
like that, no.
So I don't know. I mean, listen, will it get up? Will the Let's Effing Go t-shirt make its way up onto our shop today? We hope so. In the short term, we've got the LFG San Diego shirts up there. I don't know if people are going to buy LFG San Diego shirts. Maybe they just want the Let's Effing Go. Browner, would you get the LFG or would you only get the Let's Effing Go?
Come on, man. I'm a vulgar comedian. I want the words.
Mm-hmm.
Don't acronym my language. Let me be free.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. I love it. And by the way, what I really love now is how great friends will hit us up with, so where's the t-shirt? You know, Player just said something that everybody's going to jump on. Where's the t-shirt? You wanted it? We're trying to deliver it.
Right.
Yeah. And
trying
the Pay
best.
That Man t-shirt, though, has been very popular. Is that right?
Yeah. Last week we sold a ton of them. Last week. So, yeah. And so when he pitches tomorrow against the Phillies and goes 7, allows 1, strikes out 8, like he does every game, then we'll sell more.
Okay.
So every time he does good, I won't even say it together. Every time he does good, that shirt does good.
I love it, man. I love it. To think what a dope I was. Like, hey, let's get into some merch sales. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order 150 units. I'm going to have them all delivered to my house. I'm going to box them in my garage. I'm going to organize them. I've got this antiquated mom and pop thought process. I'm going to send them out to everybody individually. What the hell was I thinking?
I don't know, man. And I love FT. Like, he's doing something custom for me right now, and he's still doing his thing. Like, do you see those all-star shirts he made? Like, we can't sell those. Like, we just, like, those are all, So FT does his thing, and he does a really good job.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Fat Tony.
But we gotta do it a little different.
Yeah, you're right. All right, listen.
We shout him out though. Do we need to do that?
I do, because he's my man.
Good for you.
You gotta explain your beef with.
Yeah,
FT.
what is your
Something's
beef
going on there?
I ain't got no beef with nobody, man. What y'all mean?
Yeah, well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
there was weird tension.
There was no tension.
Dude,
No
in the meantime,
tension.
Fat Tony's been a
Yes, there
great
was.
friend literally since 2002. 20
Shout
years.
out.
20 years. And now you got to, what are you going to drive Fat Tony away now?
Ain't nobody. What are you? I never said nothing like that. Don't do that to me. Don't do that. Don't be that guy.
Do better.
Do better,
All right,
bro.
we're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. Padres play a new 1 o'clock game. So the Padre game ongoing. We're going to go in a different direction. We're going to talk a lot of football today. Stick around. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios on Kaplan and Crew.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
Please welcome in tax attorney Adam Brewer. Adam, thanks so much for joining us again on Main Street Living.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be back.
So, of course, we have more tax questions for you. First of all, what are the types of business entities that business owners can use?
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd ask this question. So this time of year, this is when, business owners probably just got handed a pretty big tax bill. And so naturally, the next question is, how can they save taxes? How can they save on taxes? And so that's where these business entities really, they may come in. So yeah, what we're looking at is corporations or limited liability companies, more commonly called LLCs. So definitely by using either a corporation or an LLC, business owners may be able to really save on taxes. For the most part, when we talk about tax savings, we're looking at like an S Corp election. And so again, an LLC can do that, a corporation can do that. But the net result is you want to save on what's called self-employment tax. So for 2022, a business owner is going to, by default, pay self-employment tax on the first $147,000 of taxable income. So that's 15.3%. By doing an S Corp election, putting yourself on payroll, you can really drive down how much of your income you have to pay that 15.3% at. Beyond the tax savings, it just offers an extra level of protection between the business owner's personal assets, say their home, and their business operation. So, no matter what business you operate, you're going to have some exposure to liability. So an entity like a corporation, like an LLC, it just puts that extra level of protection between the business and then what the owner has on their personal side.
Yeah, well, clearly a plethora of information that you always provide to us, Adam. We appreciate you being on the show. Where can our viewers get in touch with you for more tax help?
Yeah, like always, they can visit my website, triumphovertax.com, or feel free to pick up the phone. You can always give me a call, 619-591-9500.
Main streets are the heart of our communities, where we connect with our neighbors, support local businesses, and share new adventures. Main Street Living celebrates all of this, bringing you uplifting stories with guests from across the country and your community. From our street to your street, Main Street Living, Mondays at 9 on Your View.
Main Street Living celebrates Pride Month in partnership with Subaru of El Cajon, an extraordinary experience for everyone.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Hey, great friends, what's happening? It is Wednesday afternoon. This is Kaplan and Crew along with Grande and the Brown Man. I mentioned it earlier. You know, the Padres were playing while we're on the air. Now, for those of you that are watching on television tonight on Cox Your View, you're like, what are you guys talking about? So don't worry about it. Radio listeners, Padres playing earlier in the day. So we want to go in a whole different direction today. And let's talk a bunch of NFL football. And here to discuss from Fox Sports, here is Eric Williams returning to the show. Hey, Eric, what's going on?
What's going on, Cap? How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. Yourself?
Doing awesome, man.
What's happening in your world?
How's Birmingham?
I have a love-hate relationship with Birmingham. I'll just put it that way. I there's some great places to go eat there.
Yeah.
Obviously, a little barbecue. Went to a cool pizza place. A little sticky though for me, man. It was like 95, and just get out in the morning and you're already sweating. For a bigger guy like me, that's not great.
Hey, you were down in Birmingham, Alabama, though, to cover the USFL, right?
Yes, sir.
How's that going? Because I saw some of your pictures on social media, and when the pandemic was happening and there were no fans in NFL stadiums, they still played the games.
Right.
People seem to ridicule the USFL because there's nobody at the games. But I think to myself, well, they put all 8 teams in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yep.
What do they expect Birmingham, Alabama to come out and support every single game? I mean, it doesn't seem like that big of a community. So what's your read on how that league is going?
Yeah, I think it's exactly, what you said, Cap. I think they wanted to make sure they got through a season and were financially able to do that. And one of the ways to cut costs is to have all the teams in one place. So, yeah, you're right. I went out to a couple different eating establishments and talked to people, and they say, yeah, we went to a game or went to a couple games, but there's 40 games. So, obviously they're not going to go out and support 40 games in an entire year. When Birmingham played, there's probably, maybe 10 to 12,000 people in a stadium. And even when you have that many people in the stadium, seats 60, 65,000, it's going to look like there's not many people there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do next year. If they're going to expand it to have more than one city involved in terms of a host city. But I think the product was good. I think the games were entertaining. A lot of one-score games. A lot of players that I think will have a chance to at least be invited to NFL camps. And it's a TV product. I guess we should kind of talk about that too. I really think it's more about the TV product than it is, in terms of fan experience, and maybe that changes as they move forward.
Yeah. I mean, listen, these games were on Fox. Were they on NBC also?
Yeah, they were on NBC and USA as well. Those were the 3 people that were carrying it.
But I will admit, I don't know about you guys, Alex and Browner, I don't know about you guys, but like I get excited for alternative professional football leagues, and mostly, Eric, because as a guy who was, having to try and make it as a player, as an undrafted free agent, I always felt like there were plenty of guys just like me out there. We were good enough to play in the NFL. We just couldn't latch on for some reason.
Right.
And so I'm all for guys getting opportunities. As I say to my son who's playing Division II college football right now, I go, dude, in 2 years from now, you're going to have the NFL, the USFL, the XFL, I don't know, whatever's left of the Arena League. CFL. Even if you had a chance to play professional, like get paid to play American football over in Europe, dude, do it for as long as you can.
Yeah.
So I just think it's great that there's more opportunity out there for guys.
Yeah, Anthony Lawrence, who played at Grossmont High School, is playing in Japan right now. I mean, that's an awesome experience to be in your 20s, living in Japan and getting paid to play football. I mean, why not do it for as long as you can? I actually think Anthony came back. I think he's going to be coaching at University of San Diego now, but was there in previous years.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think any opportunity that you get to play, it's very big in basketball to play overseas. Anytime you get that opportunity, you widen your understanding and your culture and your appreciation for life. And you can, even though you don't make the money, you can generationally change the way the outcome of your family exists. just simply by moving out of the neighborhood in which you grew up in and educating yourself and widening your horizons in life. So shout out to anybody who gets an opportunity to travel overseas and experience any type of professional sport, because listen, it is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I wanted to play in NFL Europe when I was coming out of college. NFL Europe was happening, and I was trying to make it in the NFL, but I signed a contract with NFL Europe just because I was hoping to go over and play in Amsterdam and just, I don't know, sit around all day and smoke and play ball. I thought that'd be fun. Eric, do you think that's a recipe for success, perhaps?
I don't know if it's a recipe for success, but I do think it's a recipe to broaden your horizons and have some fun doing it. So I would definitely recommend going to Europe and playing.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I wanted to do that. I did.
My only recommendation is for the league is, like you said, if you don't put the teams in their cities, put them in different regions. Because I felt like if you're watching every team play in Alabama, like there's no home court advantage. So stop putting the city's names attached to these teams because it's irrelevant. They're all playing in the same place. And obviously Birmingham had a great record because they were at home every week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody's sleeping in the same hotel, so there's no advantage in terms of just, where you're staying. I agree with you, Browner. Maybe it would make sense to have a team in the north like Detroit, so you have a hub of northern cities that will play there, and then a hub of southern cities that will continue to play in Birmingham or maybe Houston. Maybe that makes sense. But I think it makes sense to kind of expand those hubs to, I don't know if it makes sense to have teams in 8 cities in terms of travel and the kind of expense that you would have if you did that. But maybe another hub would make sense.
So Eric Williams is an NFL writer for FoxSports.com. Eric's been on the show for many years. You knew him when he was working at ESPN, when he was working at Sports Illustrated, when he was covering the Chargers, when he was covering the Rams. At one point, he was covering the Lakers. So Eric is here today. We started off this conversation talking about the USFL. Last thing for me on this, Eric, I would move this whole thing to either LA, Vegas, or you mentioned Houston. And the only reason I say that is I'm looking for a city that has big population and loves football. I'm not sure LA qualifies, but at least Houston or Dallas, someplace where people love football, and then instead of playing inside Jerry World, you could play inside that stadium in Frisco, Texas, as an example, or instead of playing in NRG Stadium where the Texans play, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a smaller stadium, or if you did it in LA, maybe you just did it at one of the soccer stadiums.
Yeah.
Just looking for where there's more population than Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay. I know you're not saying they don't love football in Alabama, right?
No, they do. But I'm just saying that, like, from a population standpoint, like Birmingham,
right.
like population is probably like, I don't know, 500,000.
Sure.
And in Houston, the population is probably like 8 million.
Right.
And so you have more people to draw from.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense to be in a bigger city where you have more opportunities to get people involved. I guess my concern is if you're in a bigger city like that, where there's so many different things to do, maybe you kind of get lost in all the different opportunities, particularly on the West Coast. I mean, how it is in the West Coast. You can go to the beach, you can go to Disneyland. There's so many different things to do. Do you really want to go spend Saturday afternoon in a hot stadium watching football? I mean, I guess that would be my concern, being in a larger.
Maybe
city.
maybe you're right. Maybe they should just do it in some place. Maybe they should do it where there's a dome.
Yeah, where they could control the environment. I mean, that's just one of the things I was thinking about, because the Birmingham Stallions played Saturday afternoon at 3:00, and it was 95 degrees, and it was like 120 on the field. So I was just like, if you're a fan, do you really want to go, be in that environment? So that would be, one of the things I would think about if you're, the USFL talking about going to a second season.
All right, Eric Williams is here.
I don't want to leave my house at that.
120 on the field?
Yeah, those guys were sweating after the game, man. Especially the big boys. I felt bad for them.
Damn.
Dude.
Well, our Houston Gamblers team, they finished the season strong. They had a really tough start. But they finished strong, and they beat playoff-bound New Orleans 20-3 in their final game of the season. I only know all of this because former Charger equipment manager Bob Wick is the equipment manager for the Houston team, and he's been updating me on this whole thing. So happy for those guys anyway.
Shout out to Kevin Sumlin, the Gamblers. They had pretty good defense, and not only did beat the Breakers, they beat the Stallions the week before. So beat the top 2 teams in their division, and had to feel good about that going to next year.
All right, Eric Williams is here. Somehow the conversation got off onto the USFL, which he was just covering for Fox Sports, but he's going to be covering obviously the NFL, and he already does cover the NFL for Fox Sports. Eric, let me ask you there's a couple of big headlines we want to ask you about today. One is about Daniel Snyder. The other is about Deshaun Watson. And then who knows how much deeper we'll get into all this. But first, the Daniel Snyder Washington Commanders situation. Do you know a lot about that? Because I started getting into it today in the Washington Post, and it started to get really, really long. My takeaway was very simply this. I don't even know why Congress is necessarily investigating, but one investigation said there were a whole bunch of problems inside the organization, and then Daniel Snyder had his own investigation going, which said, no, everything's fine.
Right.
So I just wonder when the NFL is going to eventually push him out of ownership.
That's a great question, and something I've been following, not closely, but like you said, reading some of the articles about it. Obviously aware of all of the things that have come out in terms of the investigations, both by the league and outside parties, and by journalists that are doing a great job of covering this. If he had been forced out now, I don't know if it's going to happen down the line. I guess that's my take on it. I feel like NFL owners have so much clout and power. Goodell works for the owners. Obviously you can look at what happened in the NBA with Donald Sterling, being eventually pushed out. And maybe it comes to that for Snyder, based on everything that we've read, happening, with that organization. Certainly I wouldn't be surprised if he's forced out because of what's happened. But then you also have to look at, if you're a fellow owner, do you want that happening to you in terms of your, whether or not you own a franchise being controlled by somebody, being affected by somebody else.
Yeah. The only thing I think of is, I just wonder if like the NFL owners look at it and they're like, well, wait a second. Every time one of these things sells, we're all worth that much more on paper.
Yeah.
$4.65 billion for Denver. This guy's going to get $6 billion for the Washington team.
Mm-hmm.
The sooner we get him out of here, we get rid of his troubles. We get somebody else in here who's really, really rich. We already know who our guys are.
Yeah.
And our valuations continue to skyrocket. I'm just thinking out loud here.
No, I think that's a fair point and an interesting point. But I also feel like, if you're an NFL owner, and look at Robert Kraft and what happened in Florida, you want to still be able to own your team and have control over it. And so if you sign off on that happening with Snyder, now you're kind of you're under the Klieg lights and being watched based on that happening. And if something happens to you in your life that maybe brings more attention to your franchise, maybe there's a possibility that you can be moved. So I think they're going to view it in that lens as well.
I think the idea that all these guys wouldn't get rid of someone who clearly is hurting the image and reputation of the league simply because they know I'm going to do something at some point and I don't want them to do this to me is just, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd when you expect the players to behave at a particular way, and when one of them steps out of line, you bring the hammer down on them.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at the same situation for the owners, who are supposed to be held to a higher standard than the players because they're the owner and there's few of them, so they need to set a better example. You get guys like Jerry Richardson. You get guys like what was this cokehead in Indiana or Indianapolis or whatever his name is?
Oh, Jim Irsay. He's had a problem with drugs and stuff in the past. Yeah.
Yes, he has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have all these owners who have these issues and they get exposed, and then they don't want to kick other guys out because, oh, well, what happens if it happens to me? Then you done too.
Mm-hmm. All of those things are fair, and I think it's ultimately leading to Deshaun, correct? Because that's going to be the next thing that's going to be investigated. Obviously, the NFL is investigating now. They're probably going to hand down some kind of punishment. There's been speculation that it could be up to a year. So when you compare what Deshaun has gone through and then what obviously Snyder is going through right now and what Kraft has went through, and you mentioned Richardson who sold the team. I just feel like the punishment is always going to be different because you're talking about owners versus players. The owners control the league, not the players. Now that's changing a little bit. You saw during the offseason how players are kind of, been empowered to kind of control their destiny more so than we've seen in years past and more similar to what's happened in the NBA. But clearly we're not there yet. The owners still own the team. They still run the the NFL. And so because of that, and because of how much wealth they have as a group, I think they're still going to kind of be in control when things like this happen. And it's going to be hard to get, guys like Snyder out, even though when you look at the amount of things that have happened with that organization, you would think it would be a no-brainer, like you said, Browner, to go ahead and move on and sell it, like you said, Cap, to somebody that has more wherewithal financially and maybe would be a better owner than Snyder, or probably clearly would be a better owner than Snyder.
Yeah. We're talking Eric Williams this afternoon, NFL writer for FoxSports.com. So let's transition into the Deshaun Watson part of this conversation then. He apparently, according to his lawyer, has settled with 20 of the 24 accusers. Now, Alex, did you say yesterday that the 4 accusers that have not settled are the 4 original accusers?
That's what I read, I thought.
So,
yeah.
Eric, you tell me. I mean, if
original.
Deshaun Watson has most of this handled,
yeah,
could the NFL say to the rest of the world, hey, look, no criminal complaints, didn't get arrested, didn't serve jail time, dealt with his problems, settled his case. That's why we're letting him play this year. I mean, I'm sure he's going to get some suspension, but based on what you've seen so far, what do you think about what's going to happen?
I still would be surprised if he's suspended for a year. You still have 4 cases that have to go through, the legal process to be handled by Deshaun and his legal team, and that's not going to happen during the season. So that's still going to be a talking point and a thing that's going to be asked by reporters during the year if Deshaun does play this season. I thought it was one of the smartest things he's done over the last several months is to get those things moved along that should have been done a long time ago in terms of trying to settle with the people that are willing to settle. I'm concerned every time he does a press conference because he doesn't seem to handle it very well, to be honest, in terms of the questions that are coming out. I still haven't really seen any contrition. That's concerning to me because obviously whether or not you believe he's guilty or not, something happened, with all these women filing the complaints that that's not right. And I haven't seen an acknowledgement of that. And so that would be a concerning thing for me if I'm a Cleveland Browns fan or if I'm a fan of the league in general.
But Eric, if you're him, right, and you think you're innocent, because my theory, again, I have no evidence to back this up, but that's never stopped me from saying anything on this show. I think these women were prostitutes, and I think he paid them. They disguised themselves as massage therapists on Instagram. If anybody follows the same accounts that I do, you can get some of these services. So I think he paid these women for the services provided at the time. He had a falling out with the Houston Texans, whose upper management we all know is a dumpster fire. They used the tools that they had to then make his life hell, hoping that he would come back, and he didn't. And so that's how we got here. And so his decision to not sound contrite because he probably feels like he's innocent, but he can't go out there and be like, yeah, man, these women were all prostitutes, because then he looks bad. So I think that for him to, like you said, because I don't think he sounds contrite because I don't think he is. Right. I think he believes he's innocent. I believe thinks he did nothing wrong. And so that's why he's behaving in the way that he is and poorly answering these questions.
Yeah. Well, perception is reality. So I'll start with that. 26 people that are filing, they're all of them are working women and not working as massage therapists, but working as something else. I'm a little skeptical of that, just because of what comes with that when you put yourself out there as a woman. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny and a lot of people taking shots. So why would you willingly do that other than a payday? I mean, I don't know if there's enough money to put yourself out there like that. And so that, and then, like I said, even if it's what you said, that he paid them and they knew what they were getting into, certainly that doesn't look good if you're going to be the leader in the face of a franchise to be dabbling in something like that. And so I just feel like you have to kind of acknowledge and be accountable for your part in it, whatever it is. And I haven't heard him say that at all. And so,
can you imagine the press conference though, Eric? Can you imagine this kid sitting at a press conference? Here it goes. It goes like this. It goes, hey, look, I never disrespected any of these people. He's like, I paid them all. And what I received was a massage. And at the end of the massage, I expected there to be more to it. And many of these women obliged. And am I a bad guy because I wanted that? I guess, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I just can't imagine him coming out and admitting, what may or may not have happened.
But there's got to be somewhere in the middle, Scott, that he could come out and at least say, hey, I'm sorry if I made these people uncomfortable, or I'm sorry that I put myself in the situation or them in a situation where they felt uncomfortable, and hopefully he can move past this. There's got to be something that he can say where he at least acknowledges his part in all of this happening. And I haven't heard any of that.
Yep, you're right. I haven't either. Eric, it is great to talk to you today. I know we were going to talk football. Alex, did we talk football? I mean, I don't know. Did we?
We talked about football things.
Stories related to football, I guess, is what we talked about.
It's summer, Scott. We got time to talk about it.
It is summer. It is summer. Hey, Eric, enjoy it. We look forward to talking to you again real soon. Thank you very much for today, and have a great day, man.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys. Have a good week.
Okay, you too. Eric Williams from Fox Sports, foxsports.com. And Eric is going to be covering the NFL this season, obviously. And we'll spend a lot of time with us as the year goes on talking about the NFC West and the AFC West. There's Eric Williams, who is a great friend. And everybody seemed to really enjoy meeting Eric Williams at 7 Mile Casino when we had our supper club. Stick around. Plenty more to get to. This is Kaplan and Crew.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company. You need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Rome comes home. Yes, I said it. You can now catch the Jim Rome Show Monday through Friday, noon until 3 p.m. on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. Back to San Diego, where it all started, on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
It's the Q5 sale. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, June 24th, 25th, and 26th. We have Audi Q5s in stock. Other dealers are out of vehicles, not Audi Escondido. Come get one this weekend. The Q5 sale at Audi Escondido in the Escondido Auto Park off the 15 and 78.
Attention! Do you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS? If so, you may qualify for the IRS Fresh Start program, so you won't have to make any payments to the IRS. That's right. If you qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start program, you won't make any IRS payments once you are accepted. Once you are in the IRS Fresh Start program, they must stop all harassing and threatening collection activities. Call Tax Relief today now at 800-398-9411 to see if you qualify. Again, 800-398-9411.
It's the Q5 sale. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, June 24th, 25th, and 26th. We have Audi Q5s in stock. Other dealers are out of vehicles, not Audi Escondido. Come get one this weekend. The Q5 sale at Audi Escondido in the Escondido Auto Park off the 15 and 78.
I never thought 50 would feel this good.
Introducing Lumiday Radiance Within, the incredible youth booster that counteracts the effects of aging.
My skin is glowing, my hair is thicker and shinier.
Girlfriends were telling me that my skin looked really good, and I just thought, wow.
Claim your complimentary 2-week sample today. Just text BOAST to 231231. The key ingredients in Radiance Within target the top 10 effects of aging from the inside out, backed by 10 clinical studies.
Libido is getting stronger. Yes!
And my mood was so calm and even.
It's fabulous. I'm popping now.
Sound too good to be true? That's why we're offering a complimentary 2-week sample so you can see for yourself. Just text BOAST to 231231. Do it now and we'll also include a free trial of Lumiday Youth Rejuvenator to help you feel even younger and get the best sleep of your life. Text BOAST to 231231.
If you or a loved one has mesothelioma or been diagnosed with another asbestos-related cancer, call now. An estimated $30 billion in court-ordered trusts have been set aside to pay out claims to asbestos victims. You may be able to receive compensation without ever going to court or filing a lawsuit. Thousands of hardworking men and women have been diagnosed with mesothelioma because manufacturers put profits ahead of safety. Manufacturers knew the risks of asbestos exposure for years, but knowingly manufactured and sold deadly asbestos-containing materials, putting millions of American workers at risk. These manufacturers have tried to avoid compensating their victims, but the courts have ordered them to set aside an estimated $30 billion in trust money for the victims of asbestos. Call now to see if you're entitled to a portion of the $30 billion. You could receive compensation without filing a lawsuit or going to court.
Call 1-800-251-8969 now for a free legal consultation. That's 1-800-251-8969. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
Let's go ahead and take a look at your San Diego Padres baseball updates. Pitcher Joe Musgrove is 8-0 on the season. Musgrove just returned from COVID protocols, which he entered last week after a stellar outing in Chicago. Musgrove struck out 9, allowed only 2 runs in 7 innings against the Cubs last Thursday. He'll re-enter the rotation tomorrow. Manny Machado is still banged up after suffering an ankle sprain in Colorado on Sunday. He hasn't hit the injured list, but hasn't played since. Fernando Tatis' return is approaching after his left wrist surgery back in March. Recent MRIs showed Tatis is healing on schedule, but he hasn't quite gotten full clearance to ramp up training. The Padres wrapped up their series with the Diamondbacks this afternoon and will host the Phillies this weekend. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
What's going on to all the great friends that watch the show on television here on Cox Your View? What you're about to see will never be heard on radio, won't be seen on YouTube, no audio podcast. This is just for you here on Cox Your View.
Oh, shit. It's actually 6 minutes.
Okay, here we go. Hey, great friends. Those of you who are watching on Cox, on Channel 4 San Diego, Channel 4 Santa Barbara, or anywhere in Southern California on the Cox Your View network, we had been promoting for a long time Egg Fest down in Chula Vista. And on the weekend of, let's see, it was June 12th, Sunday, June 12th, that's when the event went down. So Grande Brown Man, let's show all of the Cox viewers what they missed. Did you guys have fun? This was a great event. I loved it.
More importantly, there was lots of food, lots and lots and lots of food.
Yeah. There were also a lot of listeners that came down.
A lot of listeners, yeah.
A lot of listeners who live in the South Bay area that were like, hey, I knew you guys were going to be nearby, so I came over. And by the way, here's one thing that's interesting. Not only were there a lot of listeners, a lot of female listeners, which I thought was super cool. And what I hear from the ladies is, I love it when you guys talk sports, but I really love it even more when you guys aren't talking sports.
Yeah, you know, it's when you bring, you know, this much sex appeal to a show, you get a different audience, Scott, you know?
Facts.
I know.
Facts.
I mean, look at these 3 mugs, you know?
Totally.
That saying face for radio doesn't apply here.
Hey, there was one lady that showed up, 62 years old, white woman. All she wanted to do was talk about how Browner's her boyfriend. And I'm like, see, Brown? I'm like, this is your demo, man.
That's right.
You know, Alex, show us, what are we going to take a look at? So this is exclusive for Cox. I mean, we'll talk about this on air, but this is stuff you're only going to see here on Cox Channel 4 in Your View. What are we going to look at here first, Alex?
What do you want to look at first? You have Browner being a drone videographer. You have pictures of food. You have we talked to Brian after.
All right, let's do this. Let's start off with food, because that's what Egg Fest was really all about. It was all about the food, right? So what are you going to show us here? Let's take a look.
This stole the show, right?
I mean, you gotta. Right. Yeah. Pig on the big green egg, you know, which, you know, to me doesn't look great, but it was pretty damn good. No, it doesn't look good.
Oh, it looks when I walked in, that was the first thing I saw. I walked in to the left. This guy had that Big Green Egg wide open. I was like, well, I know where I'm camping. This is where I'm going right here.
I couldn't eat it, man. It was too much. It was too close to looking like a real pig, man.
Well, it was a real pig.
It was a real pig.
I like to eat my food anonymously. I don't like it. I don't like to look at it and then put it in my mouth. I couldn't do that.
When I get a burger, it's just a burger. I
Right.
don't need to see the
Right. It's
cow
not
that
a
it came
cow,
from.
bruh.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't eat it, man. I'm
Any
sorry,
other
Piggy.
any other food shots that we should take a look at? Because you like the pig, we didn't really love the pig.
Did you guys end up trying the bacon wrapped Oreo?
No.
I did not try the bacon wrapped Oreo, but I think on the right side here, there's a bacon wrapped piece of chicken. Is that what that is?
No, it was a pork belly.
Oh, that's the pork belly. Oh, and what's that little sandwich you got going there?
Pulled pork sandwich.
Dude, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
That looks really good.
You know what's funny is that this whole time you just keep going from tent to tent to tent to tent, eating. I didn't take any pictures at all. Like the only reason I took a picture of the bacon wrapped Oreo was because I was going to text it to my lady. I was like, dude, they got bacon wrapped Oreos here.
You said they were pretty
And-
bomb though.
Okay, so it's really like it was confusing. It really was confusing. You take a bite and your mouth is like, what are you doing? Like what are you doing right now? And then the more you eat it, you're like, yeah, this is actually fantastic.
How about
bacon wrapped Oreo?
How about any pictures? Any pictures you got, Alex, of us with lots of listeners that were down? Because that was fun. That to me was a lot of fun. Hanging out with great friends. Oh, look at this crew right here. This is a great crew. Fat Tony's in the house. Tommy. This couple right here, they're wonderful. I love these two to my left. And then my friend Suzanne is on the far left. But this is a really wonderful couple, drinking beers, supporting. That was great. Anybody else? Oh, this lady right here. She works for the county of San Diego. What a sweetheart she is. She gave me her phone number. I went to text her to give her my phone number, and she gave me a landline. So I maybe I put the wrong phone number in. I don't know. Who else?
Girlfriend?
Oh, Browner's girlfriend. This woman. She's like, I
Sup,
love
boo?
Browner.
Sup, boo?
That's your girl, huh, Brown?
Yeah, that's my girl right there. Shout out.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. She gave me her Instagram.
Her husband
handle.
understand.
Her husband was like, I get it. That's Cheryl Delaney, by the way.
Her
Cheryl
husband
Delaney.
was like, take her.
Hey, Alex, show us the video. I know I talked to Brian a little bit. He was super excited about how the day went down. Show us that video if you could. Let's take a look.
Yo, so we promoted Eggfest for a long time. And today, Brian Bushfield, what do you think?
Huge success. Big. Look at it. We got 20 chefs, 40 eggs.
20 chefs, 40 eggs. We're walking in circles.
Tailing off. We would have been here an hour ago. We couldn't have done this video. There were so many people. Beer garden, huge success.
Yeah, and we did so much of the promotion besides radio was exclusive on Cox. So for everybody that's watching on Cox, dude, way to come out and support. Nice.
Right. And I mean, if you're thinking about advertising, Scott Kaplan and crew, Cox Cable, way to go.
Thank you for that. All right, it's
Unsolicited. There you go. Thank you, Brian.
Unsolicited.
God, I'm fat. I got to lose weight. I need to lose.
Come
15
on, man.
to 20
That's
pounds.
what you saw.
Dude, I got to lose 15 to 20 pounds. Hey, look, bottom line is this. To all the Cox Your View viewers out there, we really appreciate your support. And we'll keep on doing this where there's just Cox exclusive content.
We are very proud to announce that the Mightier 1090 is SoCal's newest ESPN affiliate. Introducing the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. One of the largest radio stations in North America just got bigger and better. Joining forces with the worldwide leader of sports, ESPN. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Cox presents Finding Free Shows with the Contour Voice Remote. With the Contour Voice Remote, you can search for free entertainment with your voice. So finding shows and movies is as fast as you are.
Free cartoons!
Search across free streaming apps like Zumo and Pluto TV, so you're always quick on the draw.
Free westerns!
Find free entertainment with your Contour Voice Remote.
Have a short-term rental or a standard rental that's just a hassle? Call Harlan Property Management. Let Harlan save you time and money. New San Diego laws are significantly reducing short-term rentals. Let Harlan help you convert your short-term rental into a long-term moneymaker. Go online and see that Harlan's 5-star Google reviews say it all. Right now, log on to harlanpropertymanagement.com and get 3 months of services free when you mention this ad. Call or click today. harlanpropertymanagement.com.
We're Tovala, and we're not like other meal kits.
We don't just deliver real fresh food. Our smart oven does the cooking for you. Just scan the barcode and relax until dinner is ready. Tovala. Get started at Tovala.com.
Cox presents 24/7 support with Oliver. From 9 to 5, it's easy to get help. Clog? Get a plumber. Breakdown? Hire a mechanic. But what if it's 1 a.m. and you forgot if you paid your internet bill? Meet Oliver, your 24/7 support expert. Just open your Cox app, select chat, and ask things like, what's my balance? When's my next bill due? Do you ever sleep? Download the Cox app for 24/7 support from Oliver.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
My name is Charles.